I know, such positive.
I think women are really going to love it.
That would be the
God,
complete, honestly,
yes.
the biggest compliment I could ever have is when women love this.
It's amazing. Okay, so there's a great backstory of how Steven Soderbergh created this movie for you. Can you briefly tell us about that?
Yeah, I had just lost my first mixed martial arts fight, and I traveled from San Jose to San Diego, and my agent gave me a call, and he was like, Gina, this director wants to meet you. And I was like, I don't want to meet anybody. You know, I had a black eye because I got hit above my eyebrow, and it was all draining down into my eye at that point. And then he's like, no, you really need to take this meeting. It's Steven Soderbergh. And I was like, I don't know who that is. And he was like, he directed Traffic, and he named a bunch of movies that he'd done, but Traffic really stuck out to me because I enjoyed that movie. And so I picked him up from Steven Soderbergh up from the train station, and we went and had a 4-hour lunch, and at the end of it, he was like, look, I really want to do this authentic, real action movie with you as the lead. And, you know, obviously he wanted me because I could make that look real. And I said, absolutely. He was completely professional, normal, just an intelligent human being that I felt like, yeah, thank you. You're going to give me another job after I just got completely pummeled by someone. Thank you. Who does that?
So very exciting, but a little intimidating, I'm guessing.
I think when you don't know who somebody is, it's not intimidating. It's more just new and fresh. And I'm kind of glad I didn't know who he was now because it was more genuine. It was more, you know, authentic.
And obviously, with your background in mixed martial arts, you bring a lot to the experience, but you also probably did have to do some weapons training and some additional preparations. Can you briefly tell us about that?
Yeah, they put me with a man named Aaron Cohen, who is ex-Mossad, and he put me through around 2-month boot camp of just, you know, you're coming from somebody, I'm not afraid of guns, I just don't know how to use them. And of course you're a little nervous at first. And so he put me through gun training, he put me through entering and exiting a building. I read his book, he told me stories. We got incredibly close, like he's like a brother to me now. You know, like he's still somebody I keep in touch with 2.5 years later. And he took me around Los Angeles and made me, you know, trail people, like stalk people. And then halfway through it, he told me I was being followed. And it was just a really interesting mentality. He put a GPS on my car. He's probably somewhere here today because I got a prank call at my room, and I think it was him. So he's a character.
So he put you in the mindset of
They
secret ops.
Yeah, they brainwashed me. They didn't put me with an acting coach. They put me with Aaron Cohen.
Explain to us what Mallory is like and what she does for a living. It's kind of unusual.
Yeah, she's ex-military, and she's a private contractor. So people go to her boss, which was Ewan McGregor's character, and he sends her out on missions to do stuff that the government doesn't necessarily want to do or be tied to. And it really does actually exist, like Blackwater type stuff, special ops. And, you know, she's very straightforward, gets the job done, very serious. I remember in the movie, I'm like, wow, this is such a different character for me because I don't smile in this movie at all. And so that was kind of a very different thing for me because usually I'm smiling and laughing and being goofy. But I think it was really good for me to, you know, delve into that part of me and be serious and work really hard on this film.
And she and Kenneth have like a backstory, and then she wants out, and he sets her up. Can you kind of set that up?
Well, they're actually ex-lovers, and so I think that there's a little bit of resentment coming from his character and a little bit of jealousy at the same time because she's so good at her job that everybody starts hiring him to get to her. And so I think that's why he definitely wants to get rid of her, and he's okay with that because, one, she doesn't want to be together with him, and two, she's, you know, becoming far more successful. And so he tries, you know what he tries to do.
And so he sets her up, and she's like on her own now. Can you kind of walk us through that? She's on the outside.
Yeah, she's on the outside, but she's definitely not a person that's going to run and hide and not make it right, you know. She's a character you don't want to really piss off, I guess, you know, because they trained her to be this way, and now she's going after them in the same way that, you know, she's gone after other people.
And she kind of, can you kind of explain, like Michael Douglas's character, Coleman's, is like the only kind of ally that she possibly has. And
Yeah, she doesn't really know who to trust because, who was behind it, who knew it was going to be Antonio Banderas' character. So finally she figures out that, Michael Douglas is somebody that, at least for right now, that she can, consider on the same team a little bit. But I definitely don't think that she trusts anybody. I think she definitely is very paranoid and just wants to get her job done and her life back.
And even her coworker Aaron comes and like attacks her in the diner. Can you kind of?
Yeah, and I think Aaron was just very confused. Like he didn't know what was really happening. He didn't know that was what happened. He just wanted to get paid. Want to get paid, get the job done. Don't get too involved with it. But then at the end, you kind of seen like a genuine. Oh, I didn't know this is what was going on, Mallory. I'm sorry. So Channing is which is all these characters were perfect for, the actors that played them because we all have very similar not really, but like very cool relations. Like Channing's like a brother to me, so that is like a really funny, perfect character for him.
And what about Michael Fassbender? Do you guys still talk after that scene? That is an unbelievable fight scene.
Thank you. That was definitely special, and Fassbender will always be friends. I feel. He was the first actor that I worked with, and so he's kind of like a mentor to me. And he's just a very cool, hilarious person, and I just I learned so much from him.
The fight scenes are really visceral, and so are the chase sequences are just equally as like breathtaking and amazing. Can you quickly tell us about shooting those and your big jump across the building?
Oh yeah, I have a little bit of a fear of heights, and so when I'm jumping across the building, they had this board, and there's a huge drop. There's this board right underneath, and that was the safety net, but it was just a board, and so I was like, "Where's the wires?" Because if I slip and fell or did anything. Just had like a momentary brain lapse or something, I could have really, been dead. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, Gina, is it worth it? You've got a family, And then finally I was like, okay, well, the people do this every day, and the stunt people are very confident about this. And so I was shaking, and at first I would just like walk very slowly over it, and then after a while I was walking faster over it, and then before you knew it, I was leaping over it and couldn't wait to do it again. So then I was climbing up buildings and down buildings, and that was a intense thing for me, having this original fear of heights that I had coming into it.
And you shot all over the world. Can you just very quickly tell us about these amazing locations you filmed in?
Yeah, I've been to locations where I had to train and fight, and like Thailand. I've been to Thailand a lot, but I've never really been to Dublin, Barcelona, and it was wonderful. These places are so rich and so beautiful, and it's like one of my wildest dreams would I found myself here in my life, and here I am sprinting through the streets of Barcelona, and the colors, you couldn't make a better movie set for that. I mean, the colors are just rich and beautiful, and the people are gorgeous, and it's like you kind of open up your mind and realize how big the world is and actually how small it is at the same time, because it's just another city on this planet. It's just one I hadn't been to.
What do you think audiences are going to experience when they go into this movie? It's just amazing. How would you describe it? What do you think they can expect?
I think that they can expect something that they've never seen before, and that makes me happy. And I think that it's different on a lot of levels. I think that I don't think that a lot of people understand what a unique director Steven Soderbergh is, and also when you learn like the details of this, where he's a cinematographer, and how he found me, and I just think it makes such a rich, beautiful story. And I hope that people really enjoy watching a believable female be physical with these men. And it's just, knowing the backstory on me is it's my first time, and I just think it's kind of a cool thing altogether.
Yeah, the action sequences are amazing. I mean, get physical with the men is like a very low-key way of describing it when you say it. I mean, it's a real ride. How would you, what do you think? And also I think that you're really doing these fights is really unique, that it's you.
Yeah, I think I watched it once, and of course I've got so much invested into it and so much, the thing is I was there every single day, so every day of this movie lives in my heart forever. It was the best experience, one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life, if not the best. So, I mean, nothing can replace, like, not watching the movie or anything can replace how special I feel and how connected I feel towards this film. So I know nobody's ever going to understand that, nobody's going to feel the way I feel towards it. But
are you excited for women to see the movie? Because obviously you have a huge fan base, but women are going to really love this.
It's got to be one of my best compliments is when females feel comfortable watching another female on film and also rooting for them. You never get a better feeling in life is when another female, roots for you, because you always wonder with guys, like, what their intentions are, even though there's a lot of solid guys out there that are just happy for you. But when it comes to women, that's a huge compliment.